Jordan Miles had dedicated years of hard work to building his aviation empire, reigning as the CEO of Skylux Airlines, one of the most renowned luxury carriers in the country. He poured his heart and soul into creating a brand known for its excellence, and though his success was undeniable, Jordan never allowed his wealth to speak louder than his values. For him, true power wasn't about flaunting what he had. It came from humility, respect, and the way he treated others. On this particular evening, he was heading to a high-stakes business summit in New York. Instead of choosing the comfort and privacy of his personal jet, Jordan made the decision to experience the service his airline offered firsthand. He wanted to see it through the eyes of his passengers, so he opted for one of his commercial flights. Dressed casually in a simple hoodie, jeans, and sneakers, he approached the VIP check-in counter, carrying nothing but a designer backpack. As he made his way toward the first-class lounge, a sharp-eyed gate agent named Rebecca scanned him from head to toe. Her gaze hardened, lips pressing into a thin, disapproving line. Without hesitation, she stepped forward, blocking his path. "Sir, this area is for first-class passengers only," she stated coldly. Jordan, unfazed, raised an eyebrow. "I know," he responded, his voice calm and steady. "I'm flying first class." Rebecca's lips twisted into a tight, forced smile, the price of first-class travel hanging in the air like a challenge. "First-class tickets for this route start at $10,000, she said, stressing the price. "Are you sure you're in the right place?" Jordan exhaled slowly, suppressing the faintest smirk. He had encountered this type of judgment before, but it never lost its sting. "Here's my boarding pass," he replied, handing it over with quiet confidence. Rebecca barely glanced at it before shaking her head. "I'm sorry, but we have strict policies. We can't allow upgrades using reward points or last-minute seat purchases in first class." Jordan chuckled softly, his patience wearing thin. "I didn't use points," he said. "I booked this ticket weeks ago." Rebecca pursed her lips, clearly frustrated. "I'll need to verify that with a supervisor," she said, motioning for security to approach. "In the meantime, please step aside so we can assist our other VIP guests." Before Jordan could respond, a voice rang out, cutting through the tension. "Mr. Miles." A man in a sharp, navy blue suit rushed forward, his face pale with panic. It was David Langston, the airline's regional manager. He looked horrified as he reached Jordan. "Sir, I had no idea you were flying with us today," David said, his voice tinged with nervousness. "Rebecca, do you have any idea who you're speaking to?" Rebecca frowned, clearly confused. "He's just a—" She stopped mid-sentence as the realization dawned on her. "This is Jordan Miles," David continued, his voice sharp and authoritative. "The owner of this airline." Rebecca's face drained of color as her eyes widened in disbelief. I didn't know," she stammered, her voice trembling. Jordan remained calm, his gaze steady. "You didn't bother to find out," he corrected her, his tone cutting. "Instead, you assumed I didn't belong." The entire lounge fell silent. Other passengers and staff, who had been watching the interaction unfold, now stared in shock, the weight of the moment sinking in. David shook his head, clearly flustered. "This is completely unacceptable, sir. I assure you, we'll be reviewing our staff training immediately." Jordan held his gaze on Rebecca for a long, uncomfortable moment. "Respect should be given to everyone, not just those who look like they belong," he said simply, his voice firm but measured. "I built this airline to provide a world-class experience for all passengers, and I will not tolerate discrimination in my company." Rebecca swallowed hard, her apology genuine but overshadowed by the weight of her mistake. "I sincerely apologize, Mr. Miles. I was just following procedure," she muttered, her voice small. Jordan cut her off with a polite nod, refusing to let the conversation linger. "Make sure your procedures include treating every customer with dignity," he said, before turning back to David. "Let's ensure this never happens again." David nodded vigorously, his anxiety replaced by a sense of urgency. "Absolutely, sir. Consider it handled." Without another word, Jordan walked past Rebecca and entered the first-class lounge. A flight attendant, visibly nervous, quickly escorted him to his suite, her steps quick and tentative. As he settled into his luxurious seat, the cabin crew scrambled to provide him with the best service possible. A fresh glass of champagne was placed gently on his tray table, and the lead flight attendant leaned in with a nervous but warm smile. "Is there anything we can do to make your flight more comfortable, Mr. Miles?" she asked. Jordan smiled, taking a sip of his drink and savoring the moment. "Just a smooth flight," he replied, his tone relaxed as he leaned back in his seat, his eyes closing for a brief moment of satisfaction. The plane took off, the hum of the engines beneath him, and Jordan settled in, knowing that his years of hard work had led him to a place where no one could ever again make him feel like he didn't belong. From that day forward, no one within his airline's ranks would ever make that mistake again. He had earned his place, and his legacy was one of respect and excellence, something he would never compromise.